Riders, welcome to today's session for NDA GAT Physics. Session 2026 April. Physics questions answer key. So with your permission, I am going to solve the key for set B, and that is from 76 to 100. So here is a 76 question. A pendulum of length L oscillates with an angular amplitude, that is theta equal to 60, and the time period is t and the length is L. For example, let you consider t naught equal to pi root L by g be the time period for small angle of oscillations, where g is the acceleration due to gravity. If air resistance is negligible and small, then the string remains straight. Then which of the following is correct? That is t greater than t naught, t less than t naught, t equal to t naught, and t will depend upon mass of the bulb. So here the simple one, so D is eliminated. Why? Because the time period of pendulum is not depends on D. Sorry, not depends on mass. So you have only ABC option. Let's see. So first the given data already given, that is let what is consider 2 pi root L by G, and this is for small angle. This formula for small angle, and the pendulum with length L, it oscillates with 60-degree angle, that amplitude. So what we have 60-degree angle, it clearly mentioned the angular amplitude is 60 degrees, that is about. So here, so t naught equal to pi root L by G, and the pendulum initial is length L and the time taken is t. Now as we know very well, for the large amplitude we have special formula for pendulum, that is equal to, that is t equal to t naught 1 plus theta square by 16 plus so on. And this is the formula for larger amplitude. Larger amplitude. This is for small angles. So here from this particular statement and the condition, it is clearly mentioned that one, it is clearly understood t is equal to t naught and something. That means the value of t is greater than t naught. So for the 76 question, your answer is about A. Okay, now question number 77. What is 77th question? That is about two forces of equal magnitude simultaneously act at a point. It is observed that the resultant force is equal to the magnitude of individual forces. Which of the following statement is or correct? The angle between one of the individual forces and the resultant force is 5 by 3. Statement 2. The angle between the individual force is 2 pi by 3. Select the option using the criteria statements. Okay, clear? So it is clearly mentioned. What it is mentioned? Just this concept of law of parallelogram. As we know, R equal to P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos theta. So here R square equal to P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos theta. From this parallelogram, it is clearly mentioned the question. What is mentioned? To equal the forces equal magnitude. That means P and Q, they have equal force magnitude, and the resultant force is equal to, okay, observe that one, the resultant force is equal to magnitude of individual forces. So here the resultant force is what? That is about also F. So here we can take F square equal to F square plus F square. Why? Because they have identical magnitude force. then 2f cos theta, so that we can after 2f square plus 2f square cos theta. So what we have here in this condition, we will consider f square equal to f square is common, then f square equal to f square equal to 2 of 2f square equal to 1 plus 1. What is that one? 1 plus 1. What we consider here, it is 2f, here 2f, you can consider 1 plus 1 cost. Okay, then f square by 2f square equal to what you will get, that equal to 1 plus 1 cos theta. Okay, 1 plus cos theta. What is that? 1 plus cos theta. So now it will be 1 by 2 1 plus cos theta. Then cos theta equal to 1 by 2 minus, am I right? 1 by 2 minus 1. So it is equal to cos theta equal to minus 1 by 2. What is that one? Minus 1 by 2. Where you will get minus 1 by 2? That's about theta equal to 120 degrees. So your answer is 2 pi by 3. So 2 pi by 3 coming from statement 2. So the answer is, for the 77th, the answer is B, only statement 2. Okay, now question number 78. In the 78th question, what we have? Okay, sorry, I'm checking the question paper. So that is about a solid mass of M has temperature dependent specific heat has, that is C T equals C naught plus alpha T, where C naught and alpha are the, what we have, constants. The solid is heated from T1 to T2. Which one of the following is correct expression of the following is correct expression of the, for the quantity of heat Q is Q of the solid mass. So the question is literally asking about, that is heat capacity concept. Okay, I will go with it. So here heat capacity, as we know very well, amount of heat required to change object temperature. So to change object temperature, T1 is object temperature, we want to change to T2. For that, how much heat you supplied, and that we call as heat capacity. To change the temperature of object from T1 to T2, the required heat is nothing but heat capacity. So here, from this, as we understood that one, we have a formula that is equal to Q equal to ms delta T. This formula we know very well. From this particular formula, I can consider M in the place of C, ms or mc. So here we can consider the specific, what we have, M, that is we have to apply integration from T1 to T2 temperature. That is, what is C? C is nothing but, already in question paper they given C naught plus alpha T, that is about temperature and change of temperature. We can delta in the place of, we can take delta T plus dt. Now it is, you take M common, that is T1 to T2. Then in the place of C naught plus alpha T, what we can consider? So with respect to, okay, C naught plus alpha T dt. So M integration from T1 to Tt. This can be considered as, what we can consider, it is after integration we will consider Q equal to M C naught T plus alpha T T square by 2. From where to where? That is initial temperature T1 to final temperature T2. So after simplifying this strategy, M C naught T, so lower to higher, that is about after, so C naught T2 minus T1 plus alpha by 2, which is nothing but T2 square minus T1 square. Okay, clear? So now we will consider this statement. Okay, sorry, I'm fresh to this technology, so okay. So after simplifying this statement, then you will get what you will get, that is Q equal to M C naught T2 minus T1 plus alpha T. This is which formula? A square minus B square formula. So you can go with the T1, so T2 plus T1 into T2 minus T1. So T2 minus T1, T2 minus T1, so you will get M of, you can take the common thing, that is about M of T2 minus T1, what we will get? You will get C naught plus alpha by 2 T2 minus T1. So this is your answer. So that is option number, yes, okay, sorry, that is option number, what we have, I made some mistake, I think so. So where is that one? Here I taken that one, T2 minus T1. T2 minus T1 means here you will get, here you will get T2 plus T1. Why? Because T2 minus T1 we taken common. So M of T2 minus T1 of C naught plus alpha by 2 of T2 plus T1, and that's about the 78th one, that is option T. Okay. Coming to question number 79. In a certain process, the relation between the process P and volume V for an ideal gas is given by PV square equal constant. If the initial temperature is T1 and the final temperature is T2 and the initial volume is V1 and the final volume is V2, then which one of the following is true? So it's asking about the relation for an ideal gas. So question number 79. Let us consider that is about the ideal gas related to pressure. How we know very well, PV equal to nRT. That we know very well, PV equal to nRT. To find the relation between temperature and volume at a given process, we have to eliminate, what we have to eliminate? Pressure. Pressure we have to eliminate to find the relation. What relation? To find the relation between temperature and volume, we have to eliminate P value. So that, let us consider as per the data, PV square equal to constant. PV square equal what? It is mentioned as constant. So now we know very well. So according to the ideal gas equation, PV equal to nRT. So now PV square, PV square constant means what? You can take K or something. You can take the care. Okay, what is PV? PV is nothing but nRT. PV is nothing but nRT. V equal to what? It is nothing but, you can take PV, that is nRTV, it is about the constant. Now you understood that one. So TV is constant. What is that? TV is constant. From this relation we can easily understood that one. No problem. I can go with another step also. So PV equal to V, P square equal to constant, that means K. So PV V equal to what is that? K. Am I right? So here then what is it? PV equal to K by V. So P equal to what? P equal to K by V square. K by V square into, here we have, okay. So that is PV square equal to what beta? PV square equal to K. Then P equal to K by V square. Then we already know the relation for PV equal to nRT. PV equal to what beta? nRT. Now you replace here, that is P equal to K by V square into V, which is nothing but nRT. Here it is nothing but K by V equal to nRT. So it clearly indicates that one T is inversely proportional to V. From this condition also we can get the answer. Here also TV equal constant, that means T1 by T2 equal to V2 by V1. So from two conditions we can get the answer. That is about question number 79. The option is C. Okay, now question number 80. What is the question number 80? That is for an ideal gas, a process is described by P equal to what? It is mentioned KT, where K is the constant. Where the K is the constant, and if the molar heat capacity for this process is C, then I will change the question. No problem. C, then which one of the following is correct? So that is about the question number 8. It is related to the what we have in the question number ideal gas given. So the concept is related to the ideal gas, as we know well, that is P equal to KT, PV equal to nRT. We can use anything where K is nothing but P equal to KT and P equal to, as per the question, P equal to what? P equal to KT. From the ideal gas equation, PV equal to what? nRT. PV equal to nRT. We can determine the nature of the thermodynamic process. Okay, here we can determine the nature of the thermodynamic process. So here from the concept P equal to what? nRT by V. It clearly indicates that what is indicating? P is inversely proportional to, okay, P equal to what? P equal to nRT by V and P equal to KT. So KT equal to nRT by V. Now here what is the relation between V and these two things? So these two things TT will be cancelled. So V equal to NR by K. What is that? NR by K. So here N and R and K also what they are? They are constant. They are the constants in the equation. So here question, it is about the specific value. Sorry, that means constant. Here V is constant. Why? Because N is constant, R is constant, K is constant. So that V is also constant, where volume is constant, and that is called as the isochoric process. What is that one? Isochoric process. So at isochoric process, the heat capacity, it is not Cp. At isochoric means at constant value, the heat capacity will be considered as Cv. So that answer is in the place of C equal to, we can use Cv. That is question number 80, which is about B. And question number 81. For an object gravitational field, the gravitational potential is same. Gravitational potential is same at 2 points AB, but the gravitational field is not same at the 2 points. Which one of the following is correct? So your question concept related to what? It is related to the gravitational potential. Related to what? Question number 81. That's about the, question number 81, that's related to the relation between gravitational potential V and the work done. It is clearly indicate that one. So as we know very well, so from the equation we will consider work done is considered as minus m delta V. We have these questions according to work energy principle. We can consider this condition. W equal to minus m change into potential. So the gravitational field represents gradient of potential, but the total work depends only on the potential difference. Total work depends on potential difference. So here, as clearly mentioned, the object moved from point A to B. It moved from point A to B. So the gravitational potential is also same. It is VA equal to VB. VA at point A, the gravitational potential VA, at point B, that is about the VB, and the both are same. So that the change in the relative potential will be VA minus VB, or VB minus VA is how much? Both are same, that is 0. So that here the work done, this will be 0, 0 into something 0, so that work done will be 0. So your answer is no work is done by the gravity in a moving object from A to B. So your answer is question number 81, that is about D. And question number 82, that is a position vector of particle is given by r equal to root 3t square I plus root 3 2j plus root 5k. Which one of the following statement is correct? So that's question number 82. So here is the answer for the 82. So as of now, the given data is a relation between the position vector, that is relay for the r, velocity v, and instantaneous acceleration. This we need to find here. First of all, the given resultant position vector is what? R equal to root 3t square I direction plus root 2 ttj direction plus root 5k. So first, this is position. Now we have to find velocity. Velocity is nothing but dr by dt. Let me go with this one. Where is t? Here it is nothing. So you can go with the 6. So sorry, it's not 2 root 3 t I. Am I right? You can check that one. Plus here also t is there. So it is root 2 j. Nothing is t not there. So that will be 0. So this is velocity. Then acceleration, dv by dt equal to, so t is there, root 2 root 3 I, and this will be 0. So a equal to 2 root 3 I. So here it is nothing but acceleration along the x-axis. Acceleration is the what? Along the x-axis. But what about the momentum vector? The momentum vector is always along with the means x and y direction. So here, as we understood here, the force, so out of given options, so force acceleration, it is along the x-axis, force changing, that is about only, that is, it is parallel. What is that? That is not parallel, it is not perpendicular. So we can consider the condition for this particular answer. So force of acting instant momentum, that's wrong. So here you can consider, so there are not parallel. See, momentum and acceleration, there acceleration is along the x-axis, momentum is along the x and y direction. So that the force vector has only I component and momentum is I and j. This is I component, this is I j component. So here, therefore, they are not parallel because they are perpendicular. So they are not parallel. So they are perpendicular. So that is the reason. Since the dot product is not 0, so that the dot product also not. Momentum P equal to what? Momentum P equal to mv, and this we can consider as momentum. This also F, here mv means what? We can consider different way. F dot v is proportional to a dot v. Here also we can write like this. Okay, that's not an issue. Here they are not perpendicular, even though they are not parallel, they are not perpendicular. So the answer is the force acting on the particle is not parallel instantaneous momentum of the. See, the force acting is not parallel, so that is option D is the right for the question number 82. Question number 83 is clearly mentioned. What they mentioned? A ball is dropped from rest half height edge above the ground in a frame S, that is earth frame. Another frame S is moving in a frame moving upward with a constant speed u related to the earth. That is, in frame S dash, the ball has initial downward speed v and pertaining to the change in kinetic energy delta k of small release. 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. Okay, sorry for the same. Sorry for the delay. Let me clear. Sorry. Just has little work. Okay, sorry for the disturbance. Your question is about what? Okay, question number 82. 83. So question number 83 is related to the concept of kinetic energy in frame. See, as we know very well, kinetic energy, it depends on frame. So kinetic energy depends on what? It depends on frame. What the frame, inertial frame and non-inertial frame, that we know very well. So here a question, it clearly mentioned, question number 80. That is about the kinetic energy depends on the frame. So generally K equal to what? That we know very well, that is 1 by 2 mv square. So here, when the kinetic energy, when it is the frame, it is in moving condition. So already it is having velocity v and it will get final velocity, that is about the, it is added by some more velocity, that is about the v. So here this is in the rest frame. This kinetic energy in moving frame, that is about 1 by 2 mv plus u square. So now you can see here which one is a bigger one. So we clearly understood that one. Delta k dash is greater than delta k. So your answer is delta k is larger. Obviously delta k is greater than delta k. Clear? So we can express in different way also. One more way. So that's about the another aspect. Okay, clear? Frames S, clear? It is clearly mentioned. In frame S, that is the initial speed is 0 and the final speed before eating we can get is, that is considered 2gh. V equal to v square minus u square equal to 2gh. V equal to rho 2gh. Okay, I will explain, no problem, I will explain. First of all, with respect to S, that is about the earth, the initial speed is 0. U equal to what beta? 0. Before hitting the ground, that means v square minus u square equal to 2gh. This will be 0. V equal to rho 2gh. Am I right? So now, this is with respect to the earth. So that we can consider our formula is kinetic energy, that is delta k with respect to earth in S frame, 1 by 2 mv square. 1 by 2 m, what is v? Rho 2gh. Am I clear? If you go with the simplification, you will get, this is about the final kinetic energy. And initial kinetic energy will be same as that is about 1 by 2 m and this will be what? 0. So that is 0 case. Now after simplification, 1 by 2 m 2gh. So you will get mgh. Okay, clear? So now h with respect to S frame, the energy is what? mgh. If you go to the frame S1, that is S dash, you can consider with respect to moving body. The ball is initially appears to be moving downward at speed u. The final speed of the ball are related to this frame. So that is final speed will be v plus u, because it is clearly mentioned the ball initially appears to be moving to downward at speed u and it is associated with some more velocity v. So the final speed will be v plus u. So now you will consider v equal to what? Root 2gh. This is u. Now our change in kinetic energy dash k dash equal to, so that is a dash frame with respect to, so 1 by 2 m as it is v root 2gh plus u squaring minus 1 by 2 initially u square. Upon this, let you consider, you go with the completion. Okay, 1 by 2 m, this is you go with a square plus b square. So that is about, after simplifying this all data, so I will consider the okay, no problem. Okay 2gh plus u square plus 2 into ghu minus 1 by 2 m u square. See, this one and this one will be out. Finally you will get 1 by 2. 1 by 2 means, okay, that means mgh and 2 will be cancelled. That means root 2 mg. H means what? Here I am taking u. Okay, mgu, mg, you can take mgh. Okay, no problem. This is what? This is about hu. So hu. So finally what we have? Here you can take, this is negligible positive, then finally you can consider delta k dash with respect to, see, this is already we have some more. This means 1 by 2, it is the previous value of delta k. So delta k dash is greater than to the delta k. 1 by 2 mgh means what? Previously we got 1 by 2 mgh means in the non-inertial, that is about the, with respect to earth, that we got mgh. You can consider, no problem, I can go with 1 by 2 mgh. Mgh means what? m1 by 2 delta k. Previously we saw, that is with respect to earth, plus root 2. That means delta k dash is greater than to the delta k. So your answer is, that's of the option. Question number 83, the answer is C. And question number 84, what is that one? A floating body is in stable state. Which one of the following is correct? So obviously there are given some set, that is the center of the gravity of the body is above its center of the buoyancy. The center of the gravity of the body is below its center of the buoyancy. The center of the gravity of the body coincides with its center of the buoyancy. D. The center of the gravity of the body is below the metacenter. So here, we will analyze. No problem. Okay, question number 84. Let we consider. It is related to the floating. A floating body remain, as we know very well, a floating body remain in stable equilibrium if a slight angular displacement create a restoring force, because of restoring force. So here, okay, because it is restoring moment of return to the original position. The question, it is clearly mentioned. We have options. What we have? The center of the gravity of the body below its center of the buoyancy. Whenever, so for example, you take this container and this container filled with some water, just you place one block here and the block, a floating body is stable. The body, it is in equilibrium state. The center of the gravity of the body is above the center of the buoyancy. So option A is wrong. We go with the C. The center of the gravity of the body coincides with its center of the buoyancy. This is also not possible. So we have option B and D. The center of the gravity of the body is below its center of buoyancy, or the center of the gravity of the body is below its metacenter. So you can go with that one. So the answer it is the center of the gravity of the body is below its center of the buoyancy. So you go with the option B. Because for the state of equilibrium, metacenter must be. Okay, I will go with the same thing only. Yeah, there is one more concept also we have, that is metacenter must be located above the center of the gravity. Okay, that is also one option. It is related to D, but here we go with the B only. That is the 84th one. Okay, question number 85. That is related to what? A constant power machine pulls a block on a smooth horizontal surface. Which one of the following correctly describe the relation between the speed of the block V and the time t? So question number 85, that is about. So here it is related to the power concept. What is power? Power P equal to a rate of work W by T, as we know very well. So here power P equal to, we have a formula that is about P equal to Fv, as you know very well F equal to MAV. So after simplifying this, you will get A means what? M dV by dt, acceleration, rate change of velocity is nothing but acceleration. Am I right? Yes, of course. So here now we will consider MAV M dV by dt. Let's go with this concept. So here V and dV equal to, from this concept we will consider P by M into T. Shall we consider? Yes, of course, why not? We will consider like this. Now V equal to integration, you apply integration from V equal to, this is V square, you can consider this is about V square equal to P by M. What is that? P by M into T. I am not taking derivation, but just I am taking direct step. I am taking direct concept, I am not deriving anything. So simply V square equal P by M. Now it is clearly understood that V is proportional to root T. V is proportional to root 3. So your answer for this question, the 85th one, that is about B. Question number 86. A 5 kg ice at 20 degrees minus 26 is put into m kg of water at 30 degrees temperature. The heat is exchanged only between the ice and water. The final temperature of the mixture is 100 degrees in liquid phase. What is the value of m in kg? So question number 86. Okay, I will do here only. So this is related to the principle of calorimetry. Principle of calorimetry. So what is principle of calorimetry? That we know very well. The heat loss by an object is equal to heat gained by the cold body. Heat loss by hot body is equal to heat gained by the cold body. So here hot body is what? Water, and it is nothing but cold body is what? Ice. Water and ice. Water, that is heat loss. Ice will get heat. So to get the thermal equilibrium condition. Thermal equilibrium condition. First let us consider we have a formula, that is Q equal to MC delta T. Q equal to MC delta T. As we understood here, this is for water if you take. For the same thing if you go for the ice. If you go for the ice, so that is ice from where to where, it clearly mentioned, that is minus 20 degrees to 0 degrees Celsius. Minus 20 to 0 degrees Celsius. So your formula, that is about, we will consider the simple strategy, that is M is how much? The M is already given, that is 5 grams of ice cube. It clearly mentioned 5 grams of piece of 5 into ice at minus 20 degrees mc delta T plus latent heat formula. What is latent heat formula? As we know very well, so latent heat of fusion, latent heat of vaporization, we have the concept, I think so. We have these formulas, no problem. If not means I can, okay, I will go with it. So that is, it is clearly mentioned, that is ice, it is from where to where, from minus 20 degrees Celsius to 0 degrees Celsius. We have formula, that is, let us consider this heat undergo two procedures, that is Q1 equal to M ice, what is that, MC delta T. So what is M? M, it is nothing but 5 grams. 5 grams it is in kg, 0.005, that is in kg. And the specific heat, to clearly mention, that is about the question, how much given, that is about calorimetric concept, okay, that is about 20, 30 and kg. So that we will consider Q1 equal to, so ice, that is about 2100, and the change of the temperature, that is minus 20 to 0, so that is about the 0, which will be considered as 21 joules, 210 joules. So when ice is melted, that we can consider as M2, that is M ice into latent heat, that is about, what is the value of ice? 0.005 kg, and latent heat, that is about 3.36 into 10 to the power of 5, after simplification 1680 joules. Now total to heat required by the ice, that is total heat required by the ice, that is about 210 plus 1680, which is about 1890 joules. So now condition here, this is about the ice. Now heat loss, this is heat gained by the ice, heat gained by ice. Now heat loosened by the water, that is Q water equal to, we have a formula, MC delta T. What is M? I don't know, you have to find this one. M, what is C? 4200, that value of space. Change of temperature, that is about 30. So after simplification, you will get Q equal to how much? That is 12,600 mass. 12,000, sorry, 1,26,000 mass. So now the condition, heat loss by the hot object by heat gain by heat loss, okay, heat loss is equal to heat gain. So that is about, we have to consider formula, that is heat loss is how much? 126,000, mass equal to 1890, M equal to 1890 by 126,000, finally it will be 0.015 kg. So your answer for the question number 86, that is about C. Okay. Sorry, question number 87. A very large container consists of ideal gas. It consists of ideal gas. Of an ideal gas, the speed of sound in the gas is x, and when the pressure of the gas is double while keeping the temperature constant, the speed of sound now becomes y. What is the relation between x and y ratio? X and y ratio. So here the question, it is asking, it is the relation concept, that is speed of sound in ideal gas. Speed of sound in ideal gas, as we know very well, we have a formula, V equal to gamma P by rho, textbook formula, where gamma is nothing but, that is specific heat ratio, okay, heat capacity ratio, R is nothing but universal gas. Okay, here now we express this one. How we can express that is gamma by p? Just you come to here, gamma by, sorry, p by rho. P by rho we can consider as constant. What we can consider? You can consider constant. So your answer, that is p is proportional to rho. That's it. Nothing is there. Here a simple thing. So what is p? P is nothing but x. So you can consider it's about the x. So you can consider. The formula shows speed of sound is depends only on the temperature for the specific. You know very well. Speed of sound not depends on the pressure. You have to understand. It not depends on pressure. No factor for the pressure. Speed of sound not depends on pressure. Not depends on pressure. How much you increasing? It clearly mentioned question that is when the pressure of the gas is double while keeping the temperature constant. You are keeping temperature constant, pressure you are doubling. So double pressure does not have any role in the speed of the sound. So what pressure you have, the same. This pressure is not having role. Your question speed becomes okay. The speed of sound. See, there is nothing is so p by rho. It is one means this will be. It two means it two. So that is nothing but your answer is one. I clearly mentioned nothing is a just simple one. I will explain once. No problem. The see gamma equal to V equal to gamma p by rho. This is we know very well. And we feel that one speed of sound depends on temperature, humidity. This is we know very well. So and material. So now here speed of sound not depends on the pressure, that we have to keep in mind. In question the speed of sound, the pressure is double. So pressure no role in speed of the sound, and it is clearly mentioned that one. So rho is nothing but density. So here when the pressure is double at the constant temperature, the gas density also double, keeping the ratio pressure density constant. Therefore initial speed x and final speed y remain constant. So x and y both are remain constant, which is nothing but 1 by 1. Your answer is A. So question number 88, that is about a person jumps from a height on a soft sand. Which one of the following is the correct reason for less likely injury to the person? So when we are taking a catch, cricket ball catch, or when we are jumping in the sand, we will experience less injury when compared to the rough surface. So the answer options are the sand exerts no reaction force, the sand reduces the change in momentum, the sand increases the impact time, the sand increases the momentum. So your answer for the 88, so you will go with the impulse formula, that according to the impulse momentum theorem, you know very well, the change in momentum delta p is equal to F into this one only na, average force multiplied by impact time. So P, this is about the impulse. So here impulse character. So here the total change in momentum is fixed because delta P is nothing but F delta T. So here increase the time significantly reduce the average impact force. Time is increasing, so that average impact force is reducing. So your answer is, that is option number C. The sand increases impact time. What is that one? Impact time is increasing. Question number 89. So 89 is related to what? An object is placed far behind the center of the curvature of a concave mirror. The object then starts accelerating towards the mirror. Which one of the following is correct? So that is about 89th one. So it is clearly mentioned, that is what mirror? That is about a concave mirror. A concave mirror, when a real object moves from infinite to towards center, infinite to towards center, Okay, clear? When real object moving towards infinity towards the center of the curvature, its real and inverted image moves from principal axis, move from principal focus toward the center of the curvature. So here we know very well and it clearly indicates that one, this mirror image formula, and that is what we can consider. The image will accelerate toward the center of the curvature. So here 1891, the magnification related to velocity, as you know very well, m equal to minus v by u, this is the relation. So your question object is towards the curvature, towards the so-called acceleration. So concave mirror start acceleration towards the mirror. Okay. So this is moving towards the mirror. So here we will consider that is m is 0 to up to 1. As the object approaches center of the curvature, the magnitude of magnification increases, minus v by u increases, as we know very well. From where to where? From 0 to 1. Because m is increasing as the object moves, the speed of image also continuously increases. This means image accelerates. So both are increasing. So your speed is increasing, so that is the reason acceleration also increasing. So the answer is the image accelerate towards the center of the curvature. So both things, that is about question number 89, that is A. Question number 90, I have question paper, I am reading from the question paper. So the question number 90. So a particle is moved from point X to point Y under the force field. The work done depends only on the initial and final speed. Which one of the following is correct? The force is conservative. The net work equal to the charge change in the kinetic energy. The force is constant. The velocity must always increases. So this is question number 90. In question number 90, this is related to work energy principle. As we know very well, work energy principle, work change of final kinetic energies minus initial kinetic energies. This is about the work energy principle. So as for this particular condition, we will consider the work is equal to change of kinetic energies. So the option is question number 90. What is that? So that is about option B. Which question number? 90. That is B. So what is that? The kinetic energy is given by 1 by 2 mv square of final and initial. So the difference between two kinetic energies is equal to work energy. So your answer is work energy theory. That's all. Question number 91. 1 year at a planet is 8 times as large as compared to the 1 year at the 1 year at the planet is 8 times as large as compared to the 1 year at the Earth. Which one of the following is correct about the planet's orbit? So the semi-major axis of the planet is orbit is same as that of the Earth. The semi-major axis of the planet's orbit is twice as compared to that of the Earth. Third C, the semi-major axis of the planet orbit is thrice as compared to that of the Earth. The semi-major axis of the planet's orbit is 4 times as compared to that of the Earth. So question number which one? 91. So from this question, according to the Kepler law, we know very well what we know. T square is proportional to AQ. This is a concept we know very well. So from here the question is, I did clearly mention, 1 year at a planet is 8 times of a large compared to 1 year at the Earth. So that means at the period will be T and its semi-major axis we will consider as AE. Similarly for the planet, the time period will be TP and its what we call its time period. So this time period is equal to 8 times of Earth. So 8 T. Am I right? Yes, of course. Now using Kepler law, so you can go with what we can consider. That is Tp by Te square, planet Earth square equal to AP by AE. This is about that is about cube root. Am I right? So you go with one TP by T. What is TP? TP is nothing but EIT by T equal to AP by A. So that is EIT square. You come to here. EIT square equal to AP by AE all cube. So EIT square means what beta? 64. 64 equal to AP by AE. So now you can understand the ratio. Question is what? Which one of the following is correct? So you can come to here. AP by AE equal to under the cube root of 64, which is nothing but 4. So your answer is that is about 91. That is the semi-major axis of the planet orbiting 4 times. So 91, that is about D. Question number 92. A lightning rod with a sharp tip reduces damage risk. Which one of the following is the primary reason for it? It attracts lightning directly. The sharp tip reduces the local electric field. It enhances field and promotes continuous corona discharge. D. It repels charged clouds. So question number 92. So that is about related to the lightning rod utilization principle. What is that one? Principle of corona discharge or action of points. The electric field at the surface of charged conductor is inversely proportional to radius, as we know, radius of curvature. So this is electric field is inversely proportional radius of curvature. So here from the calculation we will consider what we have options here. So that is it enhances field and promote continuous corona discharge. So that is a sharp tip has very small radius. Like this we have the lightning conductor. Here is a very sharp tip and creates extremely strong localized electric field. It creates strong localized electric field. So that is continuously safely beat into the atmosphere. That is about the corona discharge, preventing massive sudden lightning strike. Okay, that means what beta? Let I consider this is the sharp edge for the lightning, very sharp at the edge, has very small radius. It is creating strong localized electric field. Strong electric field created and surrounding the air molecules and built up static charge. It creating a static charge. And this static charge continuously slowly bleed off into the atmosphere. It releases into the atmosphere and that we called as corona discharge. It is released into atmosphere by the safe method to avoid massive and sudden lightning strike. So here the answer is for the question number what is 92, that is about C. 93. A periscope uses two plane mirrors inclined at 45 degrees. If the tube of the periscope is filled with the complete transparent liquid of refractive index 1.5, then which one of the following is the correct with respect to the image? So that you go with the periscope already given. Let me clear 1 minute. What is the given? So related to the periscope. So as we know very well, periscope is about which is making angle 90 degrees. Am I right? It is related to 90-degree angle. So based on this strategy, we will consider options what? The image will remain unchanged. The image will remain unchanged. The image will appear internally shifted. The image will appear 1.5 times. The image will appear 1 point times. And based on this strategy, I will go with, wait 1 minute. What is the answer? There is one thing I forgot. related to the which equation, that is about the mechanical energy assumption. So options are given. The question number 93, periscope, as we understood, here one mirror which is inclined with 45 degrees. So the light ray is under. So here this is working. See here, when the tube is filled with a transparent liquid, the field is liquid with a transparent liquid. Of what is refractive index, that is about 1.5. The light entering the periscope perpendicular to the viewing window travels straight through the liquid without refracting the interface. Then it strikes the parallel mirrors at the same 45 degrees. So here how much, the same 45 degrees identically, and emits out through the viewing window without any deviation. So here the lateral shift and center of it remain unchanged. So here nothing is changed. So that is about option number, the image will remain unchanged. And question number 94, it has been observed that a mirror always forms image between the pole and the focus irrespective of the location of the object. Which one of the following is correct in respect of the nature of the mirror? So the question number 94 is related to the concept of spherical mirror. As we know, where 1 by f equal to 1 by v plus 1 by v. So here, different spherical mirrors have distinct image formation rules based on this sign convention. A convex mirror, it is diverges incident light, as we know very well. It is tracing reflected light backward always result in the intersecting behind the mirror. So here, it has been observed a mirror always forms image between pole and focus, irrespective of location. And what is the mirror? It's obviously the mirror is about the convex mirror. That's nothing, no. Okay, now question number 95. So question number 95 dealing with what is the upward done by the upward force acting on a skydriver of mass 60 kg who is falling at uniform speed. As you know very well, according to Newton's first law, an object is moving at a constant uniform velocity as acceleration 0 according to Newton's first law. Which means that net force also, acceleration 0 means net force also 0, acceleration 0, net force will be 0. And here given the question, it is downward 2 meter per second. Sorry, how much? 2 only? Okay, sorry. It is downward with 2 meter per second. That is speed. And the mass is how much? That is about 60. But here we need to find downward force. Okay, there is no use of this one. So downward force equal to W equal to mg, m equal to 60, and g is nothing but 9.8. After calculation you will get 5889. So you have to calculate, that is, the skydriver is falling a uniform speed of 2 meter per second. This terminal velocity indicates the downward force of gravity. That means weight is perfectly balanced by upward force. So downward force is mg, and that is 60 into 9.8. Then you will get 588 newtons. Therefore, upward force must be also 588 newton to achieve net force is 0. Okay, question number 96. With respect to the electromagnetic wave, the human eye sensitive to what? So here, both electric field only, and magnetic field and infrared part of the electromagnetic spectrum. So your answer is electromagnetic wave consists of oscillating electric and magnetic field. Both electric and magnetic field both we have. This is about oscillating and perpendicular to each other. When light interact with the matter, such as photoreceptors cells in the human body are like cones rods in our retina. The force exerted on electron by the electric field, that is F equal as in overall EQ. This is the relation we have in our retina, and it is vastly stronger than force exerted by the magnetic field. So EQ is stronger than QAB. So here That is nothing but because velocity of electron in biological tissue is much less than the speed of light. So therefore, visual effects are almost entirely due to the electric. See, this is of the velocity of light. Velocity of light, it is biologically very less sensitive. So that is the reason here we have to consider F equal EQ. Okay, no problem. I can explain to you. Simple thing. Here, the force exerted on electron on electric field, that is F equal E, is vastly stronger than force exerted by magnetic field because velocity of the electron is biological tissue which is less than the speed of light. Electrons are less than speed of light, so that is the reason we will experience electric field throughout our retina. Okay, question number 97. I go with the question number 97. That is about what we have. Three wires each of length L, cross sectional area A and resistivity rho are connected as shown in the figure. These are to be replaced by another wire of same resistivity such that the resistance between point X and Z does not change. Let L1 is the length, L1 is the area of cross-sectional area of the new wire, then which one of the following is true? So here, let us consider first of all what we have to consider. That's about the question number, what we have? 97. Question number 97, we will have consider. First of all, as per the data, what we have, the wire each of length is, first of all, R equivalent, how much is given? 3 wires, each wire length is L, cross section area A, resistivity rho, connector shown in the figure. These are to be replaced by another wire and same resistivity. Let length A1 and cross section of area. Then which among the following? Okay, now let's see. Here from the figure X, Z and Y. So here we will consider from the diagram, it is the network considered two identical series wires, that is one is with the length L and area. The branch of resistance is what? So here the branch of resistance, let us consider R equal to rho L by A. So here as from particular condition we have two different resistance in the loop. One is at X, one is at Y. So we go with the series combination, that's about the R equal to R1 plus R2. So we will consider rho L by A plus rho L by A, and that is about 2 rho L by A. Am I right? Just you check it. 1 minute, I will be there. So that is about that is rho L by A plus rho L by A, that is about 2 rho L by A. So this is about from X to Y, the resistance we are consider. So we will consider, okay, my mind was distracted. Okay, the branch resistance, that is rho L by A plus rho L by A, that is 2 rho L by A. If the bottom of the wire is labeled 2, then we will consider what we consider. No problem, I will explain here. That is, first of all, wire 1 you are equal to rho L by A. When we are taking parallel connection, that is 1 by R plus 1 by R, which is nothing but R plus R. What we have? R, which is nothing but 2R by R, which is nothing but R plus R, R into R, R square. Okay, wait. R plus R by R square, that is 2R by R square, which is nothing but 2 by R. So this is we have, and this is nothing but resistance is what? This is 1 by r equal to. So r equal to r by 2. Am I right? So what is r? R equal to r. R means rho L by A. R equal to rho L by A. So that means R equal to rho L by 2A. Okay, clear? This is for the parallel between what we have x and y. X and y both are in parallel. And y and z, they are related to the series. So y and z, they are related to the series. And this will be what? This is just as r equal to rho L by A. Now the total resistance we will consider. R total equal to our xy plus r yz. So here this is what? Rho L by A 2A, rho L by A. Now simplify. What you will get? We will get simplification, that is about LCM if is 2A, then we will get 3 rho L. Am I right? You can check. A plus A cross multiplication. Let's wait better. A rho L plus 2A rho L 2A square. Then you will get 2A is a common. You take 1 by 2A. If you common means it will be rho L plus 2 rho L by A. That means what? Okay, 2A square. We will consider. That means 3 rho L by A. 3 rho L by A, which is nothing but 2L. Okay, there is something. Let us consider. Okay, that is as of now. I will consider this is about rho L plus 3. So that will be, I can consider 3 rho L by 2A. And the new resistance will be, in the question, L1 is a length, A1 is the area of cross section. So that area is rho hash is, this is L1, this is A1. So A1 equal to 2A, L1 equal to 3L. So your option is for the 97, that is A. Okay, no problem. I will explain once again. There is, first of all, you have to go with the first wire. R equal to general resistance rho L by A. When they are, that is X and Y parallel to each other, so rho X resistance XY equal to, we got R by 2. What we got? What is R equal to? R is nothing but rho L 2A. That is about R. In series, like Y to Z, that is about R equal to rho L by A. Now combine them, then parallel plus series, which is nothing but 3 rho L by 2A, which is equal to R equivalent. What is R equivalent? That is nothing but rho L1 by A1, new resistance. So now 3 rho L by 2A equal to L1 by A1 into rho. So this will be, this will have A1 equal to A and L1 equal to 3L. This is the question number 91. Okay, now question number 98 clearly mentioned there is a 60 degrees and 90 degrees. So that means air to glass. The prism air to glass is entered. So it clearly mentions that is about light traveling through. A prism undergoes refraction at the boundaries. Refraction at the boundaries. Refraction at the boundaries. And total internal reflection also we are able to see. A strike if the multiple times if see the incident ray hits the vertical left place. Look here. A light ray is falling on a face of an equilateral glass prism shown here. Which one of the following diagram currently show the complete path? So here the light ray is entered. So what about the ray path, emerging ray path they are asking. So the incident ray hit the vertical place at 90 degrees. 90 degrees. It passes straight through the glass without bending. 90 means normal oblique. So the top angle of, okay, here how much given? That is about the 60 degrees. That is on right angle triangle. The angle between the vertical left face and the hypotenuse is 60. So that is about the 60. So here now we will consider how it is going to be. So that is 90 minus 60, which is about the 30 degrees. If you are going with the, that is, what is the principle? The principle name is about glancing angle concept. I plus R equal to 90. Angle of I plus angle of R equal to 90 here. So it is 90 given, I is 60, so R will be 30 degrees. So okay, but here to make that should be, as we done in practical, that should be more than 42 degrees, that near about 42 degrees. So here the refractive index prism is around 42 degrees. So the incident angle is how much? That is 30. So if you go with the critical angle concept, then I will go with the option B. What is that one? Option B. So you go with the option B. Coming to the last question, 99th one. So 99 is about the angle, that is answer is, we will consider pi by 3. This is answer. Let's see here. The calculation depends. The glass slab is, this is a glass slab, is shaped as a parallel pipe with an angle of vertex B. That means AB and BC. The ray incident and the surface of AB, this I consider P, and it is also incident and surface of BC at Q. The ray reflect of AB at the angle of, here it is pi by 3. That means 60 with respect to the normal. Therefore, angle between the reflector, so here 90 minus 30, that is about, the pi by 3 means what? 60. That is about the 30. So 30 means what? You will consider the reflected ray travels toward the BC. Okay. It reaches the path, it must strike the BC. To come back, it have to strike this BC surface. With what? With 90 degrees. So here, from right angle triangle concept, by surface AB, surface BC, the light ray undergoes 180 degrees. From here to here, it is go 100 degrees. That is surface AB plus surface BC plus angle between them. Angle between the surface, that is theta. So these three must be equal to 180 degrees. So here AB is 30 and BC is 90, theta equal to 180. So theta equal to 180 minus 120, which is about 60. So your answer is pi by 3. So coming to the last question, 101. So here the question is given the areas. First of all, let us consider area from here to this triangle. So that is what? First of all, you have to consider the trapezium. What is the area under force time is a graphic is equal to impulse. This graph, F finder, it is imposed impulse. So that means delta P equal to mass, delta P equal to mv final minus mv initial. Okay, no problem. Let we will consider here. First of all, you go with the first triangle shape. The area of this triangle, that is how much? That is 1 by 2. What is B? From here to here, that is about parallel sides. So I can consider that is about what I consider. Let us wait. I will consider from here to here. This is 1 by 2. Here to here base is of 5. Height is how much? 20. So 10 ja. So you can go with the 5. 50. This is almost 50. Okay, clear? Then come to this. This is rectangle. Rectangle means what? Area. So 20 minus 5, 15. Height is what? 20. How much better? This is almost 300. Okay, I think. Okay. Now coming to this last triangle. This is here to here 25 minus 5, that is 5. 1 by 2 half BH formula. 1 by 2 means 25 minus 20, that is 5. Height is how much? 20. 5, 2 1 ja, 2 10 ja. So 50. So 350 plus 50, how much? 400. This is what? This is about the given area we given. So now what we have to find? The object is moving with what is the final speed? We have to consider final speed. Okay, now total area how much we got? That is almost how much? That is about 400. And how much they given? You have to multiply with the time. So 400 by mass. So then you will get speed. What you will get? 4 1 40. So that is the answer. 40 meter per second. What is that one? 40 meter per second. Okay, clear? Moment impulse theorem. According to moment impulse theorem, we got for 5 kg from starting rest, 400 equal to the area value is equal to 10 into final velocity. So the final velocity is what? Mass into that one, na? This is momentum initial, this is momentum final. Momentum initial is how much? From area we got 400. And mass is how much? 10. Final how much? V velocity, I don't know, you don't know. So Vf equal to 400 by 10, which is about 40. Okay, clear? This is all about the concept related to the what we have for the NDA paper 1. Okay, clear? If I have any doubt, you can ask me. So no, I don't want to go with the strict means lengthy procedure. The shortcuts for the ITT question, let's consider on ground the frame. We can consider about the kinetic energy with respect to ground frame 1 by 2 mv square. If it is in moving frame, I am giving only shortcut how we can do this within a minute. That is k dash equal to 1 by 2 m and initial velocity and the associated velocity. So when you compare these two things, and this is having more advantage, so k dash is greater than k for the IT3. This is our simple strategy. So I am not taking more things. I don't want to go with the more extra concept. Just I am giving little concept. So coming to same thing and the IT question, I will give one more key here. IT generally P equal to question, that is P equal to KT. As you know very well, so when P by T equal to, it will be K. As we know very well, this is nothing but constant. Then P by T equal to K means so as per our condition, P ideal equation, P equal to what? N PV equal to nRT. P equal to nRT by V into T, which is nothing but constant. So where V is constant, that is nothing but isochoric. Isochoric means at a constant value, that is nothing but CV. We go with the same way. Okay, next we go for the question number 81, similar concept. That is also one more simple concept. That is, it is clearly mentioned. What is mentioned? It is P equal to, sorry, 81, that is about the work equal to, we have in class 12 the formula also, VA minus VB, W equal to VQ, V equal to W by Q, and W equal to VQ. Q as there, V is nothing but two potential areas, that is VA minus VB. So both are similar, so W will be 0. Okay, nothing, no need to go with the extra methods. And similarly, question number 79 also, we have one more shot. Generally, question given as PV square equal to K. So as our conversion P equal, I can consider K by V square. For the ideal gas equation from PV equal to what? We have nRT. Now replace the value of P here, K by V square into V, which is nothing but nRT. That's it, na? So now, what is the relation? Here it will be considered, so K by V is equal to nRT. We want what you want. Here T is clearly mentioned, T is inversely proportional to value. So that T1 by T2 equal to V2 by V1. That's it. There is no calculation. Okay. You may confuse this question. Okay, no problem. In the question number 78, it is clearly given what they have given. C a question from the question, C naught plus alpha T. And Q equal, we have formula MS delta T, MC delta T. And temperature ranging from T1 to T2. And for this particular strategy, let us consider M is keeping outside. Then we go with the integration from T1 to T2. So what we have, that is about C equal to, that is C naught plus alpha T. Is it right? With dt. Now you change the factors concept, that is M of, so C naught of, that is theta 2 minus theta 1 plus alpha theta, that is alpha by 2, this is a formula, T2 square minus mathematical formula, directly we are taking here. So like that we will get the concept. Is it right? So here let we will consider what we have, T2 1 T1, M you keep like that only. Then T2 minus T1, let us consider here C naught plus alpha by 2. This is A square minus B square formula. Then T1 minus T2 out, then it will be T2 plus T1. That's it only, na? So that is your answers. Okay, coming to pendulum characters, as we know very well. So here pendulum, it is restoring force character. So that is the reason we take a larger amplitudes. Okay, any doubt? Okay. So these are the things which are related to the question paper. So if you have any doubt, you can ask me and place your comment here, and thank you. Okay, one more thing, I can go with the what is that one, question number slab. Here we have some doubt, so I will go with that one also, no problem. So that is about the which question, the 99, I will take that one. So it is clearly given the parallelogram slab, that is it clearly mu equal to already given, that is about the mu equal to how much, that is about the sin I by sin R formula we have. Mu equal to what beta, 1.5 equal to what is sin I, incident angle how much, that is about 60 degrees. So you need to find sin R value. So sin R is how much, that is about sin 60 by 1.5. If you go on that one, after simplification you will get root 3 by 2. Root 3 by 2 means what? When sin is 30. So that means sin 30 we got. Sin 30 equal to root 3 by 2. That means that ray makes normal 90 degrees. So with the surface AB. So here this is 30. So 90 minus 30 is nothing but 60 degrees. This is AB. This is BC. So based on we have one more condition, I is nothing but R. So angle of I equal to angle of R. Based on that strategy also we can solve the answer. So nothing is there, simple one. So based on this one we will consider how much angle of incident, that is about the angle along with the, that is 90 minus 30, which will be equal to 60 degrees. So that is the reason we got pi by 3. Okay, clear? I hope you are understanding. You understood. Thank you.